Hey everybody, it's time for more Path of Exile on hardcore as we stand next to the fire in Lion's Eye Watch without pants, because obviously you don't need pants when you're in exile on an island. So we are still with our Templar, Broken Humanity the Second, who's level 9, and we are currently well on our way to fighting Brutus in the Warden's Chambers. Are we going to succeed? I don't know. I'd like to say we will. And I'm tempted to try and tag along with some other people just to show you all a little bit of what the multiplayer looks like, plus to give me an opportunity to maybe survive and advance, since I have already kind of done this fight before, but I want y'all to be able to see it again with the Templar. You may see a few new things here. I have been just trying to play with some other characters just to get sort of a sense of progress in the game, what it's like going forward. And another tip that I just remember from, and as I'm going to add sweep onto here, I picked that up on another character. But one tip that I got before a while ago that sort of helps with your sanity on hardcore mode, and I think I will try and see, because right now we're not even up at the prison. But one tip that I got to sort of keep your sanity on hardcore mode is just to, and we'll go with this Brutus group here, is to really try, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering all of a sudden, to keep your sanity. Roll multiple characters and try and advance multiple characters around the same time. That way, if you happen to lose somebody, keep progressing. So if I do end up eating dirt with this guy, as we're... Yeah, there we go. But as we go forward with this guy, as we're working with Shadow Donna, obviously a shadow here. And the Darkwood Scepter's not really going to give us any way of an improvement. I have gotten a better weapon, Loathbane, which does give me +1 level to Cold Gem, so I have Glacial Hammer on it. That was a nice pickup that I was able to grab. But pretty much we're just going to be trying to progress through this dungeon. See how far we can make it. And already Sweep's gained a level. That didn't take long. So what does Sweep look like? It doesn't look like that because it needs to be a two-handed weapon. So I guess we're not using Sweep. That's why I should probably read the tooltips before using them, because we're going with this sort of sword and board mode here, with a guy that resists elemental damage. Let's see if I can see the map a little bit better this way. And we got another person added on, Sun Clarity. But yeah, that's really kind of the goal going forward with this, is we'll see how we advance. If this guy dies, we'll just pick it up with another character that I've rolled. I mean, there's some good builds to be found just for Templars in general, and I've heard plenty of times people say that melee is really disfavored on hardcore, and that's kind of obvious statement is obvious, because if you can stay at range instead of in the thick of things, it helps you out a little bit. But you know, there's something to be said about getting up in somebody's face and just beating them with a hammer too, except for when it totally takes out my mana. So hopefully I can use my improved ability with this game and sort of understanding of how mechanics go to see if we can make it through Act 2. Now, with multiplayer in this game, it does take more effort to kill enemies, but it tends to make life a little easier as we get up to the Warden's quarters here. And there's this streak of blood again. We've already been through here, so we kind of know what's coming. In fact, I may just... See, I'm not sure what my next experience point's going to look like. But I'll probably just level up after this, because I don't think it's going to be anything game-changing. Because I am going for a melee build with this, one that's focused on elemental damage. And it looks like it's frost damage right now. So there's our warden friend. We're just gonna try and beat him down and hope he doesn't beat us. We do have a pretty decent amount of health. I'm just gonna really be trying to single target here. Let's see, will my totem do anything? It may distract me for a second, but not long enough to matter. So see, with everybody's fire effects going in, this isn't going to be quite a difficult fight, although I am out of mana. And I do get a glass shank and a skinning knife, I think. Anything else I want from here? Probably not. So that's Brutus with friends. A lot less drama than Brutus by yourself on a shadow. So I did get the glass shanks. Whoever was going to try and pick up the other stuff picked it up. And there we go, the onslaught barb, which is going to be, looks like a pretty good item for somebody that's not my guy. So let's go to the prison exit, let's go ahead and get the waypoint. And what we're going to have happen here is this group is probably going to empty out pretty quickly with Brutus being killed, because that's kind of the goal of this run, is to kill Brutus. See, Sun Clarity's already left the party. Everyone's leaving. So we're actually going to head back to town. And as this game stays in open beta for a little bit, let's go ahead and leave party here. As people sort of start to figure out the metagame a little bit, people kind of start to look and see, well, what is the best way for me to level? What is the most efficient way for me to get through things? And let's see here. I think what I have is probably better for what I'm trying to do with all this stuff, so we're just going to hold off on any of those things. Let's go ahead and put this back here. Maybe it was Molten Shell that I wanted. Yeah, we can try Molten Shell. I kind of wanted to try it before. I think it's going to require some intelligence too. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. Let's see here. We do have another support gem, increased critical damage. We have faster projectiles and fork, but those don't do us a ton of good here. So we'll get some more quest stuff in a second. I think I'll just sell the unidentified goat
Warden's
buckler.
finally free of his own.
Warden's dead. What's our reward here? Infernal Blow, Shield Charge, Lightning Strike, Molten Shell, which I just picked up, Anger, and Shockwave Totem. What's Anger? Cast an aura that adds fire damage to your attacks of you and your allies. So that's additional fire damage. That's helpful. But I think I'm going to actually go with Lightning Strike. Because that's Glacial Hammer's good. Don't get me wrong. But Lightning Strike is one that can kind of clear some rooms a little bit. So what's our socket situation look like? I don't think... Okay, we need to get
Still alive, are we?
We need to get some better gloves. Those are ridiculous. Just anything at all with the red socket. I'll spend an orb of transmutation for that. Screw it. I got enough of them that I can sit on, so... We'll add Lightning Strike to our arsenal in a little bit, and we'll go ahead and sell this. Because we're just going to be trying to push through. So here's our build from what we've done before. Like I said, I'm only level 9. And what we're shooting for here is these life nodes. And now that we've gone through all of them, and I don't want to get precision on accident, but now that we've gone through them and up here, actually I was starting to move into the elemental damage. So that works pretty well. We'll go ahead and get the increased life just to finish that out. But our next goal is going to be to go up here through the damage, through all this stuff, and I don't know if there's really a lot of places to go other than to Elementalist. And we'll figure out the route that's best to go through there. By that time, hopefully, we can figure out if we like Lightning Strike or Glacial Hammer better. I probably am going to go for Lightning Strike, which means we can go up here, and then our next goal will be not that. There is a little node for helping with shock up here. Well, if you're familiar with this, there we go. we'll want to get static blows eventually. That'll increase shock duration on enemies. It gives you a 10% chance to shock. So we'll see what Lightning Strike... Probably we'll see what it looks like now. Well, I do have a cold level bonus in there, but I kind of want to see what I'm working with. So it shouldn't be too hard. Now what we're going to do next is a little bit of skullduggery here. Let's see, we got Captain Fairgraves. It's kind of interesting. See, now how multiplayer works is that you can join public parties, kind of like this. And we're just going to go ahead and join this party because it's people that's around our level, a little higher in the level. My goal is to get the Merviel portal here, and I think I should be able to do it. Yep. But now that we got that, I'm actually not going to stick around here because Cavern of Wrath is level 14, so it's going to be a little too high for us from experience. Because the bands of how this place works is out here at monster level 13, and I'm currently level 10. So if we can just try and fight here a little bit, we should be able to get up pretty well, but you want to get out of an area when you're about 2 levels over, and you don't want to be too far under level either, I believe. So now that I've got this waypoint, we're going to see if we can jump forward a little bit, show you all farming strategy. It's worked for me before. I am going to leave this party. See, just a lot of jumping in and out.
I should be more careful with my warning.
Here's another reward. Added lightning damage, weapon elemental damage, or minion life. Interesting choices. But I'm going to have to go with weapon elemental damage. That seems like a natural link to whatever build I'm trying to do here. So we're just going to create a party here, and I want to show you how this works as well. You just literally go to create party and make a name for it, and I'm going to make one called Coves Run to level 15. And that tells people essentially, hey, I'm going to be running the Coves, which isn't a terrible place to go, and eventually up to level 15, so other people are welcome. Now, part of the challenge, I guess you could say, is that the Coves doesn't have a waypoint. But you do get the Cavern of Wrath waypoint, and you just work your way back. Now, the other thing for these kind of runs is that you want to control-click this area, and you have an option to either go into an instance that's already there, or go to a new instance. We're going to go to a new instance because I want a new zone. Chances are the other one got cleared out. Now, the better question is going to be, am I going to die here? That's what Molten Shield looks like. Ah, pretty. Okay, so there's Lightning Strike. That's what I want to see there. Now, I'm not doing a ton of damage with it just yet. And we already got someone else joining the party, so obviously we're getting some people to bite, which is good, because right now you can see my level 10 self is struggling a little bit. And already he gets help with the rusted cask, but I don't mind. Like most games, early level gear is not too much worth freaking out over because it's gonna get replaced. So hello Aslam. Now I'm already liking the dynamic of Lightning Strike a little better just because it hits everybody. I almost want to see what Fork looks like with it, but we're gonna go for added elemental damage instead. Now, another thing that I've kind of picked up just as playing as a practice is that I sort of before was going kind of instinctually from other games that I played. And you'll see here that I may start phasing out these cold spells down here eventually, because they're not bad support. But another thing I picked up from other games, sort of a habit, is that I was very averse to using potions until on demand right when I needed them. And this game is a little different in that regard, in that you want to use your potion at least early, because if you're not filling up your charges, which you fill up by killing enemies, or if you have some attributes to it over time. Okay, these guys resist lightning, so screw that. They're dead. But if you don't take care of those charges and actually use them, essentially you're wasting enemy kills that you could be using for regen, and these guys create tar, so I gotta be mindful of not getting surrounded. But you see, I'm gonna want more intelligence, because I think intelligence increases my mana just by default. So that's a plus, but yeah, I can actually double check that. Yay! +1 mana for every 2 intelligence. That's what we want. But our goal here is pretty much to grind in advance. Now, this isn't something so much where I'm going to try and over-level everything. So you resist fire, but I'm going to use the Molten Shield anyway. Because resist fire is not the same as immune to fire. So that was it, that killed him. And I got a level. So let's go ahead and up our elemental damage, because that will pay immediate dividends. This is a fun skill. And that's not fun with all the ores right here, so we're actually going to throw our totem and try and make sure we don't get killed. Now this is the other problem. Bring Mel Boots, please. I think I picked that up. Now I just got to be worried about actually things like dying. So this is where maybe some spell skills come back into play. As Aslam's really being a big help here. And let's focus down... Okay, maybe not the boss. Let's see here. Reduce physical damage taken, so we do want to actually use our shield here. You resist cold. There we go. And there's our other new friend. So you go through so much of the stuff solo. Eventually it's better if you can get some other people along, because what is this game if not something where you get to play with friends or make new friends? Or ethereal knives, I will take that. A little bit of lag there on the pickup, but that's probably because I'm recording. But hey, I will take another ethereal knives skill gem. I am interested in trying an ethereal knives shadow build again. Like I said before, it's a little bit of a shame the way my guy died, but the reason he died was more or less because I didn't know game mechanics. I didn't pay attention to things like, oh, you can teleport out of boss fights. So how group loot works here, and I guess for people who didn't follow Path of Exile before, it's a point of controversy. But anyone can see loot, and for magical loot or kind of choice items, currency items, someone gets first dibs. And then if that person doesn't claim it, everyone else is sort of first come, first serve. Now, the complaint I've seen about that is maybe people who came from Diablo 3 who are very used to instancing. And they just want their own loot every time. But see, I like being able to see, hey, this is what other people pick up and get. And I'll let someone get that Poral Scroll if they want. It's just kind of nice to say, hey, I helped somebody get that, at least from my mind. But if I do have one, I guess, hope that they do change, it's that I'd like for them to have maybe just another second or two where it's exclusive pickup for the one person might be able to get it. Because when you see bosses explode, like the Brutus kill we had earlier, there's a lot of things to click through, and sometimes you can't get to the one thing you want at a time. It's a minor complaint. I'm happy with free-for-all loot. It was just fine for me in Diablo 2 for a decade. Like I said, I like to be able to see, hey, somebody else got this, and I was part of it. So this is a pretty popular Coves run. I tried doing this yesterday on another character, and nobody seemed to want to do it. But Coves is a really good leveling zone, because if your biggest threat is a bunch of tar zombies that don't really hurt you too bad, they just stop you from moving, that's a lot less of a threat than it could be. You'll get some rogues here too. so far so good with all of this, and it looks like we're getting some auras up here now. So someone has their clarity aura up. That's very nice of them. And see, we finished the run here. I'm just going to say new instance. So everyone's going to exit, and I'm the same thing I did before. And this is grinding in a nutshell.
This is a mortuary for lost children.
And I just went through the menu, created a new instance. I'm going to tell the party mine, which, if you want to do party chat, you do the %sign, and hopefully people will come here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and get this next elemental damage, and we'll like Celestial Walker in a second. Hopefully people understand what kind of run this is supposed to be. But if not, for now, we'll just probably eat it solo here for a second. Because those are a lot of guys, and that's a lot of damage flying around. There we go. So you resist cold, but my lightning strikes are going to go jump right into you. So I wonder how lightning strike works if you can actually... If I use fork with it, is it just going to attack everything on the freaking screen? Because that's my hope with this guy eventually, is just to be able to use some kind of elemental damage that really spreads around. I can figure out the sort of single target. Okay, decoy totem, which is pretty useful for soloing. Hasn't done me a ton here so far. I want to be able to elemental damage around the screen, and it looks like lightning strike is going to be my way to do that. So there's a coral amulet. Probably the other thing that my other goal that I have with this, if I'm just fighting Merviel, is to see, essentially, is to get frost resist. That's what I needed before, that's what I didn't get. But if I can get it now, it does a lot for avoiding that damage, and I may not have even needed to teleport out. Now she does resist frost damage. Do we have somebody up here just to scoundrel? I'll just melee you to death. So we got a lot of gems that are gaining levels, and we're going to be doing very much a hybrid intelligence strength build. And like I said, our first sort of little... I'm not sure about what keystones we're going for, but I am really looking if I'm going to stick with Lightning Strike, and I'm inclined to, just seeing how it's performing so far, even as it is still level 1. I mean, I want to get some nodes that'll support that. And on hardcore, you don't need to take a ton of damage nodes, but what does help more than anything is we just leveled up 2 things that I cannot level up, probably because I don't have the intelligence to do so. So I imagine those are my frost spells that'll probably be phasing out in just a little bit. So you resist elemental damage overall, that's very nice. So I'm not sure if Lightning Strike's the best for single target. I'll have to figure out another skill that may be a little better for that. And maybe that's where I'll want Glacial Hammer in here after all. Because that may seem to be a better single target attack. But this is still good for clearing the room, because that's still a lot of damage, especially with 4 people in here. So just hit and shock, and yes, that is Ice Nova and Freezing Pulse. So we're kind of at the exact same place we were with my with my Shadow with that. I've never actually rolled a duelist before. That being, okay, Ethereal Knives, you can have that bubble, or whoever chooses to pick it up. Because I already have mine, and I should probably stash that the next chance I get. So it's here, lots of packed-in zombies. It's a good place for Lightning Strike. I don't know if I have any 2 linked. I don't know if I can link weapon elemental damage to it. I need a 2-link red. So I really need to be paying attention to what's on the ground. If I can get some 2-link red armor, that'll help. Because I'm going to be doing an elemental damage build. probably best to take advantage of it. Looks like there's a wand Templar up there. So we'll level up when we get through this section. And there's our next set of friends. So we're just going to AoE as much as we can and hope that we don't get overrun by bandits and zombies and everything else under the sun. See, this is where things are really effective, because I might be able to shield a bunch of guys all around me. So good, that explosion helped. Just gained some more skill levels, so as soon as... a little bit of latency issues there, but as soon as I can deal with the rest of this stuff, so hopefully my party realizes there's way more to kill over here. And hopefully that doesn't kill me. Because I don't particularly like being surrounded. Which is exactly what's happening right now. I guess the other issue is, with multiplayer, is that it's hard to see the screen with all the loot that explodes everywhere. So we'll see if Warlix wants that blacksmith's whetstone. I know I'd want it if it was mine. So let's see here. After all of that, Molten Shell and Lightning Strike have both leveled, so Lightning Strike goes up to 50 physical damage and 30% less projectile damage. Now it's 3% increased physical damage. And let's go ahead and get our Celestial Walker as well. So that's elemental resistance, which is great. Pretty much a good survivability skill, as well as a good just life skill. So that's not bad. We are currently level 13, and I want to do this until level 15. And so, how's our stuff looking? 2 chest plates that don't really do us a lot of good. Let's go ahead and reset the instance one more time. People are going to go up and get their waypoints. And see, you have plenty of time to get back there. And the coves is nice because it does not take you that long to make it through. Now, these gems are not going to gain levels right now because I don't have intelligence. Of course I don't have intelligence. But if you see on this map here, I am going to be getting some intelligence pretty quickly. And I'm going to go up through Savant and probably up to lightning damage. Just to get up to there. I'm not sure. I gotta think about it a little bit, but I mean, at least at this point, Elementalist is a good thing to shoot for. It's just a matter of how we're going to get there, and probably that's going to be through lightning damage. So someone wants to do the last boss. It's not the last boss of this. I guess the last boss of Act 1. So here, I feel pretty confident in my ability to do that, so let's say sure. Because I bet Warlix, I don't exactly know how to look at the party on there. There we go. See, Warlix is level 14. We do have a decent party to do all of this. I'll be level 14 by the time that's done. I'd kind of prefer to take on Merviel at 15 like I was thinking of before. But who knows, I might be level 15 by the time this is all said and done. Okay, so we got a bunch of little guys that just popped out of their shells. Said if I can level up my lightning strike a little more. Probably not going to get it by the time we're at Merviel, but it seems to be a very strong skill, just regardless. Okay. Thank you, someone else giving the portal there. TP, in case, for those of you who don't know, is short for Town Portal. It's not called a town portal in this game, but damn it, that's what everybody uses because it's shorter to type than just the word portal. And no one really wants to type the word P, or the letter P, because then you don't know what they're talking about. So, bandits everywhere. Yeah, I think I am going to need to pick up at least some mana here. It looks like someone else is using Poison Arrow, which isn't awful. I have my other hardcore character right now is a Poison Arrow Ranger, which does pretty good, but didn't particularly like the coves because there's a lot of humans, and a lot of humans means a lot of poison resists. A lot of chaos damage resistance. So, not a lot there. Iron Ring doesn't do me a lot of good. So we'll see what we can do here. Really try and get our lightning strikes to hit other enemies. And I think our party's split up just a little bit. Oh, that's why. That'd be a real. If there's ever a justifiable reason to split up, it might be because there's a guy with the scary aura coming right over here. So, see, gained a level. Probably one more useful part of leveling for this anyway. And we are going to go ahead and get the intelligence. We might be able to get Elementalist quicker if we go around there, but we'd miss out on some mana. So, I'm not exactly sure what path I want to take out of here. I do know I want to go to the other strikes eventually, and see now I can level up these two skills. Because I do have that added intelligence, it's all I need, so I can keep doing what I'm doing pretty much. There's poor Sharp Fang, ain't got it going on. So, don't really need any of that stuff. We are just gonna work our way up. And then probably after this Coves run, we'll call it an episode. And then see if we can take on Merviel. And not die this time. That would be nice, because on hardcore you only get one life to live, and then you get sent to the default league. And while the default league is perfectly fine, it doesn't really help you when your Let's Play series is called Let's Play Hardcore. So there's a bunch of frenzy charges. I finally figured out what those green orbs mean. It's not the best place to be standing around. And now we're getting all kinds of spell effects on the screen. I'm just glad my computer can keep up. One more portal scroll for the road. Lots of people leveling all over the place. And we're gonna just go ahead and probably real close to the exit. There we go. We're just gonna go see if we can take on the boss. See if so we're gonna call this an episode, and we'll catch up with you in the caverns area. So until next time.